Punching Up, a Nintendo podcast, is brought to you by you. If you want to learn how to support our show, go to patreon.com/laststandmedia. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Punching Up, your bi-weekly Nintendo podcast from Last Stand Media. I am your host, Dustin. Here with me, I have a full crew, but not the full crew. But I guess we'll just start out with our guest for the week, and that's Brad Ellis filling in for Dagan. What's up, dude?
Yo, man. What's up, dude? Happy to be here. First time.
I had a thought earlier today because there was many months ago, before I was on Frame Trap, that you were scheduled to come on Punching Up.
Yeah.
And that morning we actually talked to you briefly and you were really sick and you're like, I can't do this. And I realized, I don't know. I mean, a lot of people have a lot of different thoughts about like divine intervention, whether the destinies are meant to happen a certain way. I feel like maybe you getting sick on that day to not record Punching Up. I mean, maybe if you had done that episode, things would have turned out differently.
Yeah, I think stuff would have turned out differently, Dustin.
Yeah.
Might have got a little blowback, but nowhere as near as we got to with Frame Trap, but I'm glad it happened.
Wait, so was Frame Trap the makeup for not showing up on Punch Up? Like, oh,
No,
I didn't show up on Punch Up, just show up on Frame Trap or whatever.
I just always wanted Dustin on Frame Trap anyways, because me and Dustin have been talking for years already before then.
Dude, it was going to be inevitable then, man. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it was inevitable, essentially.
It's fate.
I think that was like what is it on Final Fantasy VII? The ghost guys that come in to change.
Oh, the Whispers.
Whispers. I almost said Vespers.
Yeah, the Arbiters of Fate.
Yeah, the Arbiters of Fate intervened that day, went in your tummy and fucked you up.
Yeah,
so
man.
So that's good.
Yeah, that was
Brad,
so crazy in Remake when they just like knocked Jessie down, dude.
Yeah,
dude.
No, break her bones. Like, Jesus, guys, what the hell kind of ghosts of fate is this? Dude? You guys are getting physical.
All right, so Brad, thanks for being here. We're excited to have you sub in for Dagan. Dagan is on vacation in Florida, I believe. So he's out hanging out on the beach, having a better time than us, certainly. I would assume. Maybe not. But returning after a brief period of absence, we have the one and only Gene Park. What's up, dude?
I apologize for not showing up last time to everyone. I have no excuse. I just literally slept through it. I have no excuse. I wasn't like, oh, I forgot, or I was busy working. I have been up late playing video games. That was what happened to me. And then that never happens. And I'll explain sooner or later why that was the case.
What could it be? Wow.
Good to be back. If I'm a little quiet or if I sound a little weird this episode, it's because I'm sick. I thought I had COVID, and I just took I literally just took a test like 10 minutes before hopping onto this episode, and it says I'm negative. So I don't know. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling okay. Did feel like shit over the weekend because I came back from DICE, the DICE Summit. For those who don't know, the DICE Summit is the sort of a, not really a convention, but sort of a gathering of executives and developers in Las Vegas, put together by the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences. And they've been doing the DICE Summit for 30 years. And this is where like a bunch of like people get together and kind of talk about what's going on in the industry and also give out awards. So I actually decided to do a little bit of traveling and hang out for a bit and saw a bunch of people. And I can talk about that if you all want to hear. But yeah.
Dude, Vegas, I've only been there one time.
Really?
I was shortly after I got married, so I feel like I didn't get to have a good Vegas experience because I was very poor.
Yeah, and
so the like, but yeah, we saw like the Beatles Cirque du Soleil show, and that was cool.
I always wanted to see that, man.
Oh, that's crazy!
I'm so jealous.
I remember I was there. And Holly was there. We were there because she had a college, like she was presenting a paper because she was in college still. And I remember hanging out with her professor's husband, which we know because we go to church with them. And it was like 11 o'clock at night and we were just chain smoking Lucky Strikes and drinking, playing penny slots. Like, this is the life right here. This is what I want. This is what I would do every day if I could and not die. But alas, smoking, not so hot for you. But
yeah. So it was real rough to, I'm a former smoker. I smoked for, I don't know, 23 years or whatever. Quit 5, 6 years, 7 years ago. But it was tough. I actually ran into Marty O'Donnell, the composer of Halo and Destiny, outside the casino. And I was chatting to him up for it, but he was chain smoking like a motherfucker, like as we were talking. And I was like, dude, this like it's awesome that I'm speaking to like a legend and like someone who was like so formative of like my youth. But like I need to stop talking right now because like you're like actually about to kill me.
Last but certainly not least, ladies last, as we've discussed in the past, at least in this case. Mama Micah, welcome to Punching Up once again. How are you?
Very well, thanks. I'll say, Dustin, your one trip to Vegas certainly beats my only trip to Vegas, which is when I was 12 and it was a family vacation. Wow. And so we toured a bunch of hotels, which was cool. Like we got to go through some of like the most luxurious hotels on the strip and like see the ones that had like, wow, this one has like a mall inside of it. This one has moving floors, like cool stuff like that. But being 12 years old in Vegas, there's not much you can do besides just look at it. So Colin and I are actually hoping to go to Vegas in the next few months as just a short honeymoon, just go for a couple days. Yeah. And I'm really looking forward to it because I haven't been since I was a kid. And now it'll be like, actually I get to have fun in Vegas, experience, a bit of what the nightlife has to offer, so on and so forth. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. I want to go back someday. And it's sad. Some of the audience will remember we were discussing figuring out how to do a live event in Vegas at one point. And it's tough because our parameters are we need a place that's like not too big, not too small, good location, and the right price range that makes sense for us. And Vegas was just not in the cards when we started. No pun intended. When we were starting.
Wise, I bet.
Yeah, it was mostly price range was the biggest issue.
Dude, it's so expensive, dude. So I really wanted to buy some cologne, right? For like the banquet night, because I want to smell good. I'm a gentleman who loves a good bottle of cologne. And then so I went to the store in Vegas, and I thought the cologne said $54. I was like, dude, yeah, no problem, easy, just ring it up. And I checked my credit card later, and it says $540, dude.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Brother. I went immediately back and I was like, I misread that. I can't afford $50,000 of cologne. I'm sorry. Yeah. Can you get a refund? And then so they were like, we don't really do refunds, but we just saw you like 5 minutes ago, so we'll figure it out. Wow. And then someone taps me on the shoulder and I turn around and it's motherfucker Rod Ferguson from Blizzard Entertainment right behind me. And he's like, hey, Gene, what's up? I was like, yo, yeah, what's up, man? I'm just returning this $540 bottle of cologne that I accidentally bought. How's it going?
What cologne was it?
I don't know, man. It was something called Maseo or whatever. I don't care. I just wanted some kind of scent or whatever. I'm usually better prepared.
What store did you go into? Did you go in like
my usual? It used to be a Victoria's Secret. Whatever for him. Sense they have. It used to be called Very Sexy, but I think it's been discontinued, which sucks.
Oh, okay.
So,
damn.
Gene, I wanted to ask you about a tweet that you posted on February 16th that said, incredible to witness Koji Kondo, the composer of Mario and Zelda music, leave a Las Vegas nightclub.
Yeah.
Damn.
What kind of nightclub are we talking about here?
So after the DICE Awards, there is an actual after party, and it was at the Jewel nightclub at Aria Resort and Casino. And for some reason, Koji Kondo was like, yeah, I guess I'll check it out.
Dude, sick.
Yeah, so he went in there and then he left like 10 minutes later because it was like way too late. Which is crazy because I did not even go in. I was like, I don't even need this right now because I was already like starting to feel sick already. So I think, and then that was the moment when I was talking to Marty O'Donnell, smoking a cigarette, because Marty was actually hoping to see Koji Kondo too, but he told he didn't see me there. So
dang it.
Because Marty was telling me, I think this is not an interesting, this is not a crazy story, but Marty was telling me that he wanted a selfie with Koji Kondo because he took a selfie with Koji Kondo like years ago, and he actually posted it on his Twitter. But Marty was telling me there was a moment when him, Nobuo Omatsu and Koji Kondo were all in the same room, and it's like, dude, we all should have taken a picture together, but we didn't.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, dude, that would have been a crazy picture with all three of you in one photo. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, couple or a bunch of legends.
Just
together.
absolute legends of the gaming industry. Yeah, like just objectively,
Guys, it's time to start getting into the show. Before I do that, I gotta crack open a cold one here. As we talked about in the past, I got some limited edition Pikmin 4 Capri Sun ready to go. I saw this at the store last night. I'm like, man, we talked about that on the show, and I feel like these are pretty nice, And it's been, I think I told you guys it's been at least 15 years since I've had a Capri Sun. Maybe more.
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
let's see here.
Drink it right now.
Will it taste like Pikmin? I saw that they're only 30 calories now, and it definitely tastes like it.
Yeah.
They're like, why are all these kids losing their fucking mind after lunch? It's like, oh, maybe because of all the sugar in the Capri Sun. But yeah, I thought that was kind of nice. So I'm ready to go for a Nintendo podcast. But before we do that, let me talk about Last Stand. And our Patreon, patreon.com/laststandmedia. That's where we live as a community, and that's how we eat and sleep and all those other good things is through our Patreon. So if you enjoy the show, want to support us, head over there and get early access, $5 a month, along with Sacred Symbols, Defining Duke, Constellation, and our newest show, Summon Sign, that Brad is the host of. So you get a little taste of Brad this episode, and you're like, that's good. Check out Summon Sign. It sounded so much worse when I said it out loud.
Save it for the live show, dude.
I can't though. I can't.
That's good.
I mean, that's what lots of people are doing now. I mean, they heard Summon Sign once and they say, "Damn, this is the best. This is the best SS on Last Stand."
Yeah, it's becoming a very perverted show now. I realized. I looked at the Discord.
You've joined a perverted company. I
know. I'm not used to it, but it's getting real filthy. I don't even want to say what they're saying now.
Did you see the comment I left on Summon Sign yesterday? No. Someone said something vile, and so I just responded and said "summonussy" on it with the company account. But I made sure to not, like, usually if I comment something with a company account, I'll sign it so someone knows who it comes from.
Yeah,
no signature, so a little mystique there.
Man,
guys, let's talk about Nintendo. The main topic of this show is the Nintendo Partner Direct. We are coming a little late this week because we wanted to make sure we got the Direct in to talk about it. Overall, nothing too crazy, but also nothing crazy was expected. So this is kind of just, a bunch of updates on, of course, partners of the Nintendo Switch. So third-party stuff. We'll be talking about the other major news that I'm sure many of you already know about after this. But before we do that, let's talk about this Partner Direct. And I think the best way to do this is I made a list of all the stuff that I thought was interesting, and then we can either just mention it and no one has anything to say, that's fine, or we can talk about it a bit. I may throw this around and mix it up a bit. First, let's talk about the big one as a follow-up to previous episodes, and that is Grounded and Pentiment are coming to Nintendo Switch. Grounded focused, right at the beginning of the show, and Pentiment is stuck at the end in a sizzle reel, which I thought was kind of interesting. So, Gene, we haven't had you on the show in over the course, well, maybe at the very beginning of some of the rumors, but not as things were really heating up. Now we have...
Yeah, when we're just right back to the same information, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about Grounded and Pentiment finally heading over to Nintendo Switch after all the speculation and rumors?
It was interesting to see both games fit so naturally into the Nintendo Direct vibe, and the Nintendo Direct offerings, or the Nintendo offerings. When you see those kids run around and Grounded, and when you see, how simple Pentiment looks, you're just like, oh yeah, this totally makes absolute sense for the Switch. My biggest disappointment is my favorite game of the bunch is Hi-Fi Rush, and it wasn't. There was no presence. I was very, very disappointed. So I guess they're probably taking a little bit more time to either announce it or, I guess, make it or something. I have no idea what's going on with there, but yeah.
It got announced for Well, people found out for PS5. It's like March something, the date.
Oh, did it?
Okay. Yeah. I wonder if they're going to save that for Switch 2 or whatever it's going to be.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was like a leaked trailer that was in Spanish, and then I think it got taken down. Yeah. So it's happening, but I don't know what's going on with the actual announcement of that.
Yeah. Well, I'll buy them on PlayStation regardless. It doesn't matter. I want to support the game. So yeah. But yeah, those are my thoughts about Grounded and Pentiment. I mean, you know what? Well, Grounded, I tried. It's cool. You know, just not my type of game. Pentiment, I never tried, and I should. So, you know, for me, you know, I usually play games when they come on the Switch. Like I didn't play Ori until it came on the Switch. So, yeah, I'm probably it's gonna be the same thing. I'm not gonna play Pentiment until it comes on the Switch, but I'm excited to try it out.
Pentiment's rad. I played some of it. It's really cool. I mean, it's all dialogue and choices, which is fun, but that game
I'm kind of in the mood for like an adventure game. So yeah, for sure. You know?
Yeah, you'll dig it then. It's cool.
Yeah. Micah, do either one of these games interest you on so obviously you have an Xbox, so you didn't need to gain access to these, but if having them handheld, is that appealing?
No, absolutely. So Grounded, as soon as I saw it, I was like, no, not the bug game. Because I remember those trailers freaking me out when that game, no, that's just a no from me, dog. I can't play that. But Pentiment, for sure. Because it is, I have an Xbox. It doesn't get a lot of love these days. Because like handheld gaming just is my number one way to play. So no, I'm very excited about Pentiment. This is something that I'm really interested in. All the choice making and everything reminds me of my playthrough of the Banner Saga trilogy last year. And just really loving how in depth all those choices were, how much they affected, you know, your camp and your group as you move through the story. So I'm totally into that. Definitely gonna play that on Switch. It's just seems like a great place to play it too. It's just like, as you mentioned, it's like, the vibe of these games just fit in really well with the overall direct and just like, here's our Nintendo showcase and this feels like games that belong here. But like Grounded looks fun. I'm not knocking it. I am just anti-bug to the like 100th degree. And it like makes my skin crawl just thinking about it. It's not even about like the arachnophobia thing. It's all the bugs. I don't want to see any of them. Like it's too much for me.
Yeah, they had that. I think there was the thing where you can turn spiders into just blobs. You need to have the blob mode for everything. Then at the point, it's like it's basically just like a weird alien type game. But
now it's Slime Rancher. You turn everything into blobs, and now it's just a different game altogether. It definitely looks cool. I'm all about like the concept of it, and I think it would be super fun to play with your friends. But God, it makes my skin crawl just watching the trailer. I was like, I can't do this.
So Grounded is coming this April to Nintendo Switch, and Pentiment is coming tomorrow at the time of recording. So
that's exciting.
Yeah. You'll be able to check this out pretty soon. While we're on the topic of Xbox, and Micah, you and I have talked about this quite a bit as far as what this question is. I'm mainly going to throw this to Gene and Brad. It comes from Nicholas Brillhart, who says, "Greetings, Brickfisters. With the current rumored slate of Xbox titles making their way to Nintendo platforms, I assume he wrote this before the Direct. Grounded, Hi-Fi Rush, Pentiment, Sea of Thieves. What do you think is most likely to succeed on the platform? Take care and join me in praying for Viva Pinata to make its way to Switch 2. So, Brad, we have these 4 games. There's been a lot of speculation about, is it really just these 4 games, or is that just trying to keep people at bay from losing their fucking mind? But what do you think of these 4 is going to do well on the Switch? What do you think makes sense? And then I'm going to add a bonus on like what other Xbox games do you think make sense for the Switch?
Oh, on Switch? Okay, so out of those 4, well, we just got confirmation from Microsoft if you want a breaking update about.
Whoa, breaking update.
Yeah, Sea of Thieves not going to be on Switch. Hi-Fi Rush not going to be on Switch, but Grounded and Pentiment will be.
Oh yeah, I see that. Sea of Thieves announced for PS5 April 30th.
Yo, no Hi-Fi Rush for
no. Maybe Switch 2, Gene.
All right,
well,
Switch 2, I guess.
2.
Yeah.
We can talk about that briefly. Sorry to cut you off mid-question, Brad, that I asked you, but there are some speculation. I know Genki on Twitter has been talking about this a lot, that maybe they wanted to do it on the regular Switch, but they couldn't get it to 60.
Yeah.
So maybe Switch 2, since originally that was supposed to be this year. Again, we're going to talk about that soon. So, because they put the shirt in the files.
Yes.
So it was at least part of the plan at some point.
Yeah.
But hard to say. So anyway, sorry, Brad, cut you off there. We're saying not Sea of Thieves. Yeah. Sea of Thieves.
So the games that are going to be on Switch, I think the one that will probably do the best is Grounded, just because survival games are really popular. And this one has online co-op you can play with friends. So that immediately checks a lot of boxes. Pentiment is a super rad game and I really love it, but it is not a game for everybody. And I cannot see everyone being into that game. So I definitely think it's going to be Grounded. That's the most popular because it's very kid friendly too and all that stuff. In terms of stuff I would like to see on Switch, I don't know, because they announced some of their classic stuff too, that I'm sure we'll get into later. So I'm happy about a lot of that. Hi-Fi Rush, of course, made sense, but I guess they really want to stick to the 60 frames or whatever, because that's really important for that game, because it is an action combat game. So you definitely want that. I do want Viva Pinata now for Micah. I feel like it needs to happen because she desperately needs it. Of course, Banjo-Kazooie is on Switch, so thank God, now that I think about it. I don't know about... They should dive back into a lot of their older catalogs, too, for Rare, for Nintendo. But in terms of recent Microsoft stuff, I guess, I don't really know what would really work on it. I'm trying to think. Like, they put Dooms on there, which is cool. Did Doom Eternal come out on Switch? I can't remember.
It did.
Yeah, it was just digital only, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, it was physical with LRG and everything, but, you know.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Is it even... They maybe people pre-ordered it 2 years ago. Maybe not.
Exactly,
It yet.
People still getting it.
I wonder about Starfield, if that would just blow up a Switch, though. If it would even be possible.
Yeah, I'm guessing it would blow it up. Sneaky Switch. Can barely... I mean, the Xbox Series X... I don't want to say can barely handle it, but, 30 FPS.
Just the longest loading times.
I don't know about a lot of their newer games being able to run on Switch, at least, because they're much more high fidelity nowadays.
Right.
But they got a back catalog they can totally dive into.
Like all the Gears of War, obviously, would be the easiest.
Oh, Gears of War?
Yeah,
you could do like the one remaster they did or whatever.
Yeah. Or 2 and 3. They're all Xbox 360 games. They'll run easy on the Switch.
You can do 1 through 3. Yeah, totally. Yeah. I would like that a lot. I wonder if they put like Perfect Dark Zero on there or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Brad, what about Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts?
Oh, no, Dustin. They should just delete that game from history.
Brad's favorite game, Nuts and Bolts.
Yeah. Disrespectful video game.
I don't know. Gene, is there any other thoughts? The only thing I could think of is, bring our boy Blinks the Time Sweeper back. This is
Blinks. That cat's gone, man.
Prime time, Nintendo Switch. I think now could be the time, Gene. What do you think?
Let's go brute force, man. Let's go OG at the Xbox IP. Brute force. Tactical strategy game.
I haven't thought about that game in a while.
Yeah, that could work. Well, the real talk though, Gears Tactics could be a good game for the Switch.
It'd be sick.
That doesn't need to run the 30 FPS at all. Just bump the textures down. It's unreal. So just bump it down all the way to low, and then that's an easy breezy Switch game to play.
Yeah, man, that game would be tough to play on Switch. I feel like with strategy games, I need like a lot of a lot of space.
Yeah,
I just think about handheld mode. That's just probably just me.
Yeah.
But hell yeah. I would love to see more Xbox games come to Switch, dude. Share the wealth. Lost Odyssey. That's what they need to put on. Do something with that.
No, of course. Xbox needs to put Lost Odyssey like anywhere.
On everything.
Yeah, on everything. On PlayStation, dude.
Yeah.
I've never played that game.
Neither have I. I have it. I haven't played it yet.
I played it a long, long time ago. And I was like, holy shit, this is a really, really well-written game.
Yeah, I heard it's amazing.
Micah, I have one that I think you're interested in. I think we've talked about this, but Unicorn Overload, which is one of the greatest names for a game all time. There's a demo out right now on Nintendo Switch. And if you start it, your progression, it's just the beginning of the game. So your save will just transfer over to the main game. Are you excited about this game? Are you playing the demo?
Oh, definitely. Colin and I were just talking about this game the other day. It's one that we are both very excited for. I'll definitely play the demo, but as you know, I hardly ever actually transfer the data over. Like whenever there's a demo and they're like, oh, you can keep your progression. No, we don't want it. Dave the Diver restarted it. Like, I don't want to save any of that. I want this to just be a test run. All right. And then I'll start fresh when the game comes out. But yeah, this has me, like the demo, I'm super stoked about. Partly because as excited as I am for this game, it is just so different from some other things I've played that I'm like, I don't know if I'll really enjoy it. Like, I'm interested in the story. I think it looks cool, but I look at this game and like the gameplay they show and I say, I don't know if I've played anything super similar to this that makes me say, oh, it's 100% a lock. I know I'm going to enjoy it. So this is a perfect time for me to have a demo of something and just be able to really say like, okay, I definitely want to buy it. It was the same with when Octopath Traveler, the first one, was announced. And I kept saying, I think I'll like this, but I don't know. And then as soon as I played the demo, immediately was like, this is a game I must have. Same with Dave the Diver. You know, demos are usually what sell me on a game. They usually don't backfire. Most of the time when there's a demo for something, I just feel so confident now of like, oh, I know exactly what I'm getting, that I almost always buy the game. I don't know if there's ever been a time that a demo has made me say, no, I hate this. I don't want it. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be downloading that. There's a bunch of stuff now that I want. So Switch is going to be getting even more use this next couple days.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I want to check out the demo. I feel when I see the trailers, I feel a little intimidated by it.
Yeah.
Which just because some really more tactical RPGs can kind of scare me off, but free demo, no risk there to check it out.
Exactly, because I really enjoy tactical games like the Fire Emblem games, and I really love Triangle Strategy. But this one specifically, it just looked pretty unique in its presentation, and I just kept thinking, I'm not 100% sold. I'm like 85% sold on it. I was going to buy it regardless because I wanted to play it. But now having a demo, that my mind's at ease.
Brad, I don't know if you and I have ever talked about Vanillaware games, but it sounds like just from seeing you not along, you're excited to check this one out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, one, Vanillaware, I'm immediately going to play it because they're an incredible studio. Two, I love tactics games like RPGs and stuff, so this is right up my alley. This is like a dream come true almost for me, so yeah, I'm gonna play this game.
Awesome. Gene, what do you think?
I love Vanillaware, but tactics games, I gotta be in the mood for it, but it's definitely gonna be a game to check out, but I still gotta finish Sentinels still, 13 Sentinels too.
Oh, right.
So yeah, I really need to finish that game, so. But I need to finish Persona 5 first. So.
Damn, dude. And now you said you were going to play all of Kingdom Hearts, so I've got a lot to go. Grocery list forming here.
I got a lot to go,
This next one we could talk about just real quick, but I want to ask you, Brad, about Monster Hunter Stories. Mm-hmm. I would say now you are the Monster Hunter expert of
I guess.
Last Stand. I don't think there's anyone that I would say is more into it than you, but
what am I, Dustin?
Dude, I don't know if you go toe to toe with Brad.
We'll have to. I was playing since Try, so that's how far back I go.
Yeah, I played some old ones, but I didn't like them that much until World came out. Then it really clicked with me. Okay, I'll be your little Palico, Gene. How about that? You can be the hunter. I'll be the Palico.
Or no, my little doggy. I forgot what the dogs are called already.
Palamute.
Yeah.
I don't know much about Monster Hunter Stories. I know this was a 3DS game, and I believe there's a sequel out now.
There is already out for Switch. Yeah,
Switch and PC. There was.
Okay. So is this? Have you played either one of these? And does this HD version intrigue you at all?
I haven't. I played a little bit of 2. It's like a turn-based like RPG set in Monster Hunter universe. So yeah, I definitely want to give them a shot now, especially because I'm much more into Monster Hunter than I used to be. And if they're like remaking the first game or re-enhancing or whatever, it's like, yeah, I really want to check this out. Did they give a date? Do you recall?
I forgot to write down dates.
Okay,
I was making my show notes, but I can look real quick. This IGN article says nothing.
Okay, so always off. That's totally fine. There's a cataclysmic wave of video games right now, so it's totally fine.
That's fine.
Oh, this is summer 2024.
That's okay.
at the very beginning. So sorry, IGN, that was on me.
Let it cook.
Let it cook. Let it cook. Gene, is this these like RPG Monster Hunter style games? I've always felt that I'm not very interested in the world of Monster Hunter at all. In fact, my first exposure to Monster Hunter was World, and I remember thinking, I don't care about anything going on. I just want to go fight some big monster, and that's it. So playing an RPG in this world, not that appealing to me.
It gives you a good connection to the world, because you still like being in the Monster Hunter world and Monster Hunter. I don't give a shit about the story. You're right, and the great thing about Monster Hunter games is that like they really facilitate you not giving a shit about the story. They just keep you moving along. But you know, it is a fun like world to be in. Like I've always wanted to visit like the Monster Hunter Cafe in Tokyo and everything, and all the merch and stuff. All the monsters are cute. So and I also have Colin's like Boomer Brain where I tried to finish Monster Hunter Stories 2, but I couldn't because I was like that mind goblin that Colin and I both share is like, no, you got to finish part 1 though. You haven't earned it yet, you know. So now I can finally earn it. I can finally play it, and I kind of like the style better. It looks kind of cuter in part 2, honestly.
Yeah. This is a total side note, but I've been kind of curious about that Dragon Quest Monsters game.
Oh yeah.
Just because I was watching Genki, I mentioned earlier, which I interviewed him on Sacred Symbols Plus. He did a video of the Dragon Quest store. Did I say Monster Hunter earlier? The Dragon Quest store, and it was all because of how hyped they were for this Monsters 2 game. And I don't know, it looked kind of cool, but
it's like Pokemon, isn't it? Or
yeah, it's like a Pokemon Dragon Quest game, but nobody cares about it here. But it was like obvious. I mean, Dragon Quest in Japan, so it was.
Yeah, Stories is basically a Pokemon Monster Hunter game too. So
yeah. Moving on here, Epic Mickey is getting a remake called Epic Mickey Rebrushed.
Yeah.
I don't know who to throw this to, so I'll just throw this in the void. Does anybody care about Epic Mickey?
I care.
Okay, Brad.
I was shocked when I saw this. I could not believe this was happening. I was like, what? I like Epic Mickey, the first one. It is jank as hell. It's pretty rough, but I still enjoy it. Like, what a cool world and a cool premise for a game, but it was definitely a little, not Wii, a little switchy, but for the Wii era. A little dicey. But now they're remaking it. It's probably going to have really nice frame rate, I'm hoping. So I'm very excited to check this out, dude. That's a day one purchase.
I've been thinking that I've been wanting to play a platformer, which I think there's a game that has my eye a lot more than Epic Mickey that we'll talk about in a few minutes.
Oh, hell yeah, yeah.
But it's cool to see this brought back. Totally random, like you said.
Yeah.
Moving on here, unless anyone had any more thoughts about Epic Mickey.
Epic Mickey is from the creator of Deus Ex.
Yeah, Warren Spector.
Oh, Warren Spector.
Yeah, Warren Spector.
I met him once at PAX.
I did too. And he was freaked out when we met.
He was freaked out.
Well, I was with Mike Huber, and Mike Huber, you were on the show, or you got cut, Dustin, or whatever, for Huber syndrome or whatever, or Huber hype.
Oh yeah,
running around talking to people. He yelled at Warren Spector, and he was very shaken up by it.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if I had no idea who Michael Huber was and I just heard a man shouting my name across
Warren Spector,
at E3, I might be a little intimidated as well.
With that level of aggression,
yeah.
Now we got a little bit of an opposing opinion here from Mama Micah. I'm not going to let that slide. Micah, you said you hated Epic Mickey. What do you got against?
Oh yeah,
the mouse?
I'm sorry.
No, here's what happened. Brad and I were watching the direct and having opposite reactions. As soon as I saw Epic Mickey, I was like, no, not that. I hated it. I couldn't stand that game, and I'd get mad when I saw the case, at the store. I hated it.
Whoa.
I don't know. Maybe this would be its redemption arc, but as soon as I saw it, I watched, the trailer for a few seconds, and I was like, I know what this is. I skipped ahead. I was like, I don't need to see any more of that. It's too much.
What did Epic Mickey do to you? That is a burning hatred.
The alert's going off in DC for Gene. The
it just sucked. Okay. Yeah, it wasn't great.
Part of it is, first of all, I don't like the style of Mickey. There's something off-putting about him. There's something weird about his face. I don't I don't know, man. I'm a Mickey Mouse Clubhouse kid, all right? Hot dog, hot diggity dog, So like it's friendly Mickey, and this one it's like the eyes are too small, the tail too skinny. I don't know. There's something weird about this Mickey Mouse, and then he gets like sucked into the void. I didn't like that. There's just a lot of things here that made me very uncomfortable. And so as soon as I saw it like on screen, though, I immediately just had this like gut reaction of like, I don't like it. And I hadn't thought about that game in so long, but immediately it came back of like, no.
Do you like Kingdom Hearts Mickey?
Oh, yeah, he's cute.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. See, that one's different. That one looks cute and fun. So I don't know what they did to him for this, but I do not like it.
Oh, Warren Spector got his grubby hands on Mickey. Turned him into a freak.
Dude, this reminds me, just the other day, Wario64 tweeted that the like Kingdom Hearts Mickey plush was on sale on Amazon. I think it was $80, but he has the infamous Kingdom Hearts school shooter robe on. And I was like, I had to think about it. I'm like, do I spend $80 on this Mickey Kingdom Hearts plush? And then I thought, no, I can't do that. But
it's kind of like me spending $540 on cologne. It's like, man, it's just, you want it, but
you want the school shooter Mickey, but you can't do it.
I really hate that you said that, because I'm gonna think of that every time now. I never even thought about that.
Dude,
there's a lot of those robes in those games. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah, that was something I said on when I made the claim that Kingdom Hearts was the most overrated game of all time. Okay. That was a joke that I ran it by Holly the morning of. I'm like, I think I'm going to say Mickey. They put Mickey in the school shooter outfit. I don't know if I can say it, but I'm going to. She's like,
it's funny. It's funny. It's funny that I used to dress like that too, and everyone used to call me the school shooter. So Jesus.
Yeah. Dude, Gene, is the nuke coming? What's going on here?
Yeah, it's like a lighthouse.
Sorry, it's just fire alarms.
Your apartment is on fire, dude. You're done for. Well, we'll see if the flames get you by the end of the show. But if you
need to, like, tornado watch.
They're doing tests.
I'll try to turn it off when I can.
Oh no, you're good. You're good, dude. I just was, I was concerned what's going on here. So next game here is Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. And I'm looking at a Nintendo Life article here for some more information. This is going to come out June 21st. And one of the big things, even though this debuted in the Nintendo Direct, it will be multi-platform. So if you've been waiting like me for this to come to a different system, this is the chance. But this re-release, according to Nintendo Life, says it will include a brand new storyline, new locations, new demons to negotiate and add to your team, and brand new choices to make. Micah, I know you are a Switch RPG fan. I don't know if you've played the original or not, but is this game speaking to you at all?
Yeah, I tried it. So I do own Shin Megami Tensei 5 for Switch. I actually have the Steelbook edition of it because I got it at launch, and I didn't like it. I think I just wasn't in the mood for it, though, honestly. And part of it was my first time ever playing one of those games versus Persona, right? And Persona kicks off with like a ton of story, and like they get you really into it. And this game was just like, go fight stuff. And I was like, where's the story? And so I just wasn't expecting it because I went in blind. Like, I didn't Google much about the game. I wanted to just experience it. But then I was just kind of bored. And so now that I know what it is, I definitely am going to try it again at some point. I only played for maybe 5 hours, but I was just kind of feeling lost. And like, I don't know what my motivation is. I don't know why I'm doing this. We're just fighting stuff. I'm a little bored. Versus Persona being very upfront with what the hell you're doing and why. And being all about like forming bonds with your teammates and everything, right? So it wasn't right for me at the time, but now that I know what to expect, I'm definitely going to try it again. I already own it, so I'm not going to try the new version or whatever, or I'm definitely not really feeling like I want any DLC or anything, but I am going to try it again. I've been thinking about it, ahead of this Direct. I've been thinking about giving it another try, as, I'm still enjoying Persona 3 Portable, and I picked up Persona 5 Tactica, and I just love this world and then all the characters and everything. So I'm like, I got to get back to that and give it another, fair shot. But no, it didn't catch me the right way the first time I tried to play it.
The main reason why I haven't tried this game is for the exact reasons, is what I've heard about it, is that it's in that sort of universe. I mean, Persona comes from SMT, so it makes sense, but it just doesn't have all of the things that make Persona, which is fine. That's good that they're different, but I really like those elements from Persona, and so to have those not be there sounds less appealing to me. But I'm trying to remember, Brad, were you into this game? Are you into SMT in general?
Yeah, I played like 30 hours of this game, and it is good, but like you guys are saying, I like the elements of Persona, like the focus on story a lot more on the characters. Like this game is like mostly about the combat and about the loop of like getting the demons and all that stuff. That's what it's really about. There's some exploration, but in my opinion, it's just kind of bland. I think this is a very good game, and I'm really happy they're redoing it or adding new content to it, but I'm not going to revisit it.
Gene, have you played this at all? I remember hearing too that is it like super difficult? Like it's a super hardcore RPG?
Yeah, apparently it's really hard. I also, like Micah, I also own it because I think Mike and I are just dorks and we just want to like own the RPG on the Switch, right? So I also own it on physical even. And I've always, I'm not familiar with SMT at all. I've never played one. So yeah. I definitely wanted to make 5 my one, but I want to play the original one first stuff for sure. But again, I have Kingdom Hearts, I have Persona 5, I have this, I have too much to play. I have Elden Ring to play, you know?
Yeah. That's right, dude.
Yeah.
This one has been making quite the waves online. Star Wars Battlefront Collection is coming to not only Switch, but other platforms as well, but debuted at the Partner Direct. And this is pretty cool. Both Battlefront 1 and 2 with new multiplayer servers, playable. I know a lot of us have a lot of memories of playing those. This one maybe wasn't as exciting for me just because I have those games on PC and they've been accessible this whole time. But having them on console is pretty special and cool that you'll be able to go back and see what the fuss was about for Battlefront. I wrote this one down here just because it kind of annoyed me. There's a game that was in here called Another Crab's Treasure, and they made sure to say it's a Souls-like game where you're like a little crab going around, like something to do with treasure. I don't know, Brett. Did you feel? I felt like this whole Souls-like thing, they just kind of added that in there to try to be like, oh, we got you. It's a crab Dark Souls game, but I wasn't feeling it.
That's enough for me to give it a little spin. I've been keeping my eye on this game. I think I'm into games with really goofy and dumb premises like this. Like you're just a crab looking for a shell the whole game. That's like the plot. And you're sword fighting as a crab. So yeah, I'll check this out. I'm not expecting much from it, but I'll give it a spin.
It's also funny because crabs are some of the most annoying enemies in like any Souls type game.
Always.
Yeah. Like there's a crab type in every Souls game, and they're always like a point of contention. You know?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm really excited about this game. I'm really trying to beat Persona this week before Rebirth comes out, so I really shouldn't buy this today, but Shadow Drop of Penny's Big Breakaway. This is the game that is from the Sonic Mania team. It looks so fucking cool. It's a classic traditional 3D platformer. Has a lot of cool swinging type mechanics, almost like a yo-yo in there. And yeah, this is out now on Nintendo Switch and other platforms as well. Is anyone else excited about this game? Anyone else diving in, checking it out?
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna check it out right afterwards. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I love 3D platformers, so I'm always happy when there's a new one. And the Sonic Mania team. Sonic Mania was so good, so I'm very excited to check this out.
I was trying to decide. I think I might buy this on Steam Deck, actually, because I was thinking about seeing the colors on the OLED screen.
Yeah.
And the Stinky Switch, I don't know for sure. I'm assuming that it's 30 FPS. Maybe not, though, but this might be a nice Steam Deck game.
Yeah. Always assume the worst.
Always assume the worst with the Stinky Switch. That's right. This one is purely for me. Suika game getting its Nintendo love after its insane sales last year, and that is it's getting a multiplayer DLC. that I think it said at launch it's just local only, but they're going to be adding online. This is exciting, and I'm not going to complain because I think Suika game is, I don't know, less like $5 or less to buy, but they're adding multiplayer and it is a paid thing to it, and it's kind of annoying just because Suika game is so like this, the feature set of that game is so little, but again, it's so cheap. But it's cool to see them adding and expanding to this game that became a huge hit. So I might need to get that because I think Holly and I would probably have a pretty fun time playing this together, though I am asking to lose if I buy this game and play against her. So let's see, what do we have else here? We talked about Pentiment. Rare. They are some of their games coming to Nintendo Switch Online. So the games are RC Pro-Am, Killer Instinct, and this is the Super Nintendo version, Snake Rattle and Roll, Battletoads and Battle Maniacs, and Blast Core. Mm-hmm. So I was thinking the only game in this lineup that I've actually played is RC Pro-Am. Surprisingly, really? Of all these, the NES one. But Brad, you mentioned earlier that you were excited or interested in some of these. Is there any one in particular that you're excited about?
Yeah, man. Killer Instinct, super fun fighting game. Really cool. I played this a lot back on the Super Nintendo. Had the sweet black cartridge. Really rad. And Snake Rattle and Roll, dude, I do like a lot. So I can definitely check that out. And I don't know if I've played this Battletoads game. Battle Maniacs or whatever. I don't think I've ever played it. So yeah, I'm curious about it.
I grew up on Battle Maniacs. It was an easier Battletoads game. So
okay.
The one you can actually beat like a normal person.
Yeah.
Dude, I feel like it's the scene where they're on like the bikes or whatever.
It's the bikes.
Yeah,
that's only like bikes, the third or second level. No, that's like the third level because then the first level is like the above world beat 'em up. Second level is like when you descend down, and then right away it's the goddamn bikes, and you have to be perfect.
They're brutal.
The big thing, well, the quote unquote big thing at the end is a new Endless Ocean game called Endless Ocean Luminous. Before we started the show, I asked you guys if anyone had any connection to Endless Ocean. I barely know anything about it. Micah, you said you had watched a Game Grumps Let's Play on it, so you kind of were intrigued by it. But what do you think about this? I don't even know what kind of game Endless Ocean is. So
exactly. Okay. So yeah, obviously I'm a huge Game Grumps fan. Okay, their Endless Ocean gameplays legendary because they're very funny. But it's honestly a really weird game. Like the one that I watched them play. The whole thing is that you're looking for this, some sort of amulet that I guess your father dropped in the ocean, and you're trying to go find it, and you're finding some like lost civilization. I think you're looking for. And it's weird, and you're also exploring the ocean, and I don't know. It was a strange game. So seeing this be like the big reveal was funny from that aspect because I'm like, I have watched hours and hours of Endless Ocean gameplay, and I still am not quite sure what the hell's going on. And then seeing this one, they're like, and you can play with up to like 30 people.
Yeah, 30 players.
Like, what? So I'm a little, and they're like, discover 500 types of fish. And I'm like, is that the whole game, discovering the fish? Is there going to be another like hokey story about we're looking for like the moon rock your dad dropped in the water? I don't know. But my excitement was primarily hoping that Game Grumps will play this game and I'll just watch them play it again. So I'm very happy that a new Endless Ocean is going to exist, but I don't think I'm going to try it.
Yeah, so this is coming out May 2nd for $49.99, and as you mentioned, Micah, 30 players that you can, and I'm reading from a Nintendo Life article once again that says you can meet and greet your fellow explorers on the fly. And Nintendo is including a 7-day trial to Nintendo Switch Online with all purchases of the game. 500 different species of marine life to encounter. So I don't know, Gene or Brad, this one really caught me off guard just because I'm so unaware of what this game was like. I believe it's for the Wii, right? Yeah. So either one of you going to be diving into the ocean?
I don't really know a lot about the Wii one. I never played it. So I don't even understand what the game is. Is it like Africa? You're just taking photos of fish and stuff or something like that? I don't know.
Is it a Dave the Diver like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was really funny. 30
I was definitely more
players.
excited for the announcement of Killer Instinct on the Super Nintendo. I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that because I'm going to play the hell out of that one.
Nice. The last
Killer
thing...
Instinct getting more love on Nintendo than on the Xbox? Come on. That sucks,
That's
man.
true.
Yeah.
The last thing to cover here, ironically, wasn't even in the direct that we watched, but in the Japanese version, that's Mother 3 is coming to Nintendo Switch Online in Japan.
Trolling us.
The complete troll. And I saw when the direct came out, Mother 3 was one of the top trends on Twitter. Despite the fact this is Japanese only. So to bring us in to talk about this a little bit, let's go to Gary Huss. It says, "Hey punchers, so Mother 3 was announced for Nintendo Switch Online in Japan. Is an official Western translation of Mother 3 one of the last great wishes of Nintendo gamers in the West? People have been wanting it for years. How has this not happened yet? Will it ever happen? I know Dustin has always said there's a reason they haven't gone after the fan translations, but why? Thanks all." So, Gene, is this an indication? Should there be any spark of hope for people in the West from Mother 3?
I mean, it's clear that they haven't forgotten it, but I think they're kind of indifferent to us out here in the West. I mean, look at the Pokemon company announcing Pokemon Day at 3 a.m. here on the East Coast. They're not thinking about us. They're not thinking about our schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So yeah, Mother 3. Again, I just would say if you are interested in Mother 3, go download the fan translation because Nintendo's not giving it to you and they're not going after these people. And so I don't think they have any intent of ever bringing it over. But
it feels like spite, doesn't it? From Nintendo.
It's just Nintendo's Bloodborne, right?
It's just like, why are you doing this? Well, it'd be like if they released Bloodborne in Japan only or something like that. It's just like, what are you doing, man?
That's even worse, yeah. Holy shit,
it's just like, what are you doing, man? Like, why are you doing this to people?
Bloodborne in Japan only? Holy shit, dude. Dude, that would piss me off so much.
Yeah, it's insane, man. It's just like, come on, Nintendo. Just throw us a fucking bone. It really feels like out of spite now. Some executive at Nintendo is just like, no, fuck the West.
Reggie, the last vestiges of Reggie.
He's holding a grudge or something. Yeah. Just do the fan translation, like Dustin said.
I imagine that, I don't know, maybe Nintendo has their own official translation kicking around, but I'm guessing probably not. And so there's a point where they're like, oh, should we could release this, but we don't have an official translation. Do we want to spend the money to do that? It's like, no. And again, dude, I think we talked about this last time we brought up Mother 3, that a lot of people that have played it have said that some of the stuff in it is very un-Nintendo. I don't know if it's like, I'm trying to remember, it's child abuse or animal abuse, something in there that isn't quite probably in line with something that they want to release. But so keep waiting, keep dreaming, but it's not going to happen. So there was some other stuff in the partner direct, but as I said, these are kind of the big things that we could cover, and we will just continue to wait for Nintendo to say really anything else right now. There were rumors last week about an actual Nintendo Direct that didn't come to fruition. And actually, this is a perfect way to segment into our first news story here, where we can talk about some speculation about what Nintendo is doing. So one of the big things was, number one, according to multiple sources, specifically Video Game Chronicle and Eurogamer, along with numerous others, Nintendo's next console has been internally delayed to 2025. So this is a quote from Video Game Chronicle. It says, according to sources, third-party game companies were recently briefed on an internal delay in Nintendo's next-gen launch timing from late 2024 to early the following year. One publishing source suggested the delay was so that Nintendo could prepare stronger first-party software for the console. It's possible the next-gen Nintendo console will now feature a similar timeline to the Switch, which was released in March but announced the previous year. So, some disappointing news for those of us that have been desperately waiting for anything regarding whatever the next Switch is. But it seems like maybe could be for a good situation, primarily being having more software ready to go at launch. So, Micah, we haven't heard from you in a bit. What do you think about this delay pushing us into 2025, which, by the way, 2025 doesn't sound like a real year to me yet. When I hear it, I'm like, damn, we're dying very quickly. And 2025 is just shouldn't be a real number. But anyway, Micah, how do you feel about this?
Oh, yeah. I'm disappointed for sure, mostly because we've gotten a lot of news over the past few weeks of things that are coming out, the first half of 2024. That's been like Nintendo's focus and sort of like teasing essentially that, okay, so like the later half, we're keeping that a surprise. And so we know a lot of stuff that's coming out through summer. And if this is going to be the case that now there's not going to be the new Switch at the end of the year, and it's like, well, what the hell are we going to have in the second half of the year? Like, it's just a real disappointment in that regard because they put so much emphasis on first half of 2024. It's even the Direct today said, like, here's what's coming out in these first few months of 2024. So it's like they kind of made the cutoff at summer with this Direct as to what they wanted to talk about and show. And with all that sort of like buildup of like, okay, we're only focusing on the first half of the year. The second half of the year is going to be something exciting, something new. And now it's like, all right, I guess it'll be next year. And then just sort of wondering what's going to happen towards the end of this year? What are we going to have? So no, I'm definitely disappointed. It's not the news I wanted. That's for sure. I was hoping like, oh, maybe there'd be a leak about the console and it's like, oh, we're going to get like a sneak peek of it. And it's like, no, the intel is that it's not coming out yet. And that's a huge bummer.
So Neo JD, I meant to read him before I threw this over to you, Micah. Just said, Puncher's rumor now is no super stinky Switch till next year. How are we feeling about this? Gene, how are you feeling about this? A little more time to cook at Nintendo.
Yeah, I think there's speculation or rumors that they're actually delaying it because they want to make sure that they have a good first-party lineup. And it's interesting to delay a whole console for the games, but I think it's because Nintendo is going to say the complete opposite of what Phil Spencer has been saying for the last few weeks, is that exclusive games do sell consoles. And they can say that because their exclusive games do sell consoles. Remember, Breath of the Wild was selling 1-to-1 with the Nintendo Switch for like the longest time. People were buying the Switch to play Breath of the Wild. Nintendo knows that their games are good enough to draw people in. So if that's the case, then yeah, I get, if that's what it takes to make the Mario game launch with the Nintendo Switch, dude, come on, it's going to be an immediate hit, a hit. Imagine if the Xbox actually did launch with Halo Infinite, because Halo Infinite did review well at the beginning. And there was good vibes for Halo Infinite for the first few months. Maybe that could have made a difference. Who knows?
Yeah. Bringing up Breath of the Wild is a great point. And it's funny thinking about the Switch because when it launched, it was kind of, you had Breath of the Wild, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, is huge, but some of the other launch titles people weren't necessarily so amped about with, 1-2 Switch, and there was kind of ARMS that was early in the mix and Mario Kart as well. But for a while, a lot of people, it was like, this is the only game I need is Breath of the Wild. So I'm wondering if they're kind of thinking that at the same time. Brad, I think about some of the other launches before that, specifically the Wii U, and how the software was just clearly not ready yet. They had Super Mario Bros. U, but not really moving the system for a lot of people. So how do you feel about this delay? What would you want to see now that they're holding back. I feel like the expectations of what they're going to have ready are high.
Yeah, so I've been ready for a new Switch for like 5 years, so this does hurt me at one point, but I do think they need a good lineup. There are so many question marks about Switch. Like Micah was saying, the second half of the year, I do wonder about Metroid Prime 4, if they're going to hold that for the new Switch and maybe launch that, or if it will come out this year also. You got to have like a new 3D Mario game or Donkey Kong game. People were saying there's rumors about. You got to have one. And I would really like them to have redone versions of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom updated or whatever. I think you need like 2. I mean, obviously Mario's probably enough to sell the system as it is, but I would like at least 2 really big first party games right off the bat. So hopefully they can get that. And then if they do the second part of the year, there's still things they could do. Metroid Prime 2 remastered if they want, or 3 also. The Wind Waker Twilight Princess thing I've been hoping for forever. Maybe you could actually put that out now. So,
dude, what if they actually do that, man? They actually break the glass for the Zelda pack, you know?
Yeah, they should, man. Zelda's bigger.
I'll be happy. It'll totally work. It'll totally work. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, if they're delaying it to get like Mario or something up to snuff, it's a very wise move. Because Gene, you said like Halo Infinite. I think that's a great example.
Yeah.
You want the killer app. You need a killer app.
So talking about the rest of this year's perfect transition here, the Snack Squatch writes in and says, "Hey guys, with the Switch 2 internally pushed to 2025, do you think we'll get a couple more ports / cross-gen titles? If so, what do you think we'll see? Fingers crossed for Wind Waker / Twilight Princess. Thanks for all you do."
Yeah.
And I was thinking about how this could play out, because really we have Super Princess Peach or Princess Peach Showtime, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We have Wind Waker, or not Wind Waker. What am I saying? Paper Mario, The Thousand Year Door coming. Mm-hmm. And after that, we kind of don't know. So I wonder if the rest of this year...
Is that coming out? Luigi's Mansion 2?
Oh, yeah.
Dark Moon.
Yeah, so we have that too. But
remakes, right?
Yeah.
It's really Peach Time. That's only main new title, which I'm excited for. But
so I wonder what it looks like as far as if they announce the console and then they kind of are okay with riding out the rest of the year a little more slow, unless they have some other tricks up their sleeve that they could put out. And I think the biggest question you brought up is Metroid Prime, whether or not they're going to want to hold that or put it out this year. And one of the interesting things in my talk with Genki, I've mentioned a few times now over on Sacred Symbols Plus, is he was talking about how Metroid, part of the reason why Nintendo, it seems like, doesn't care about Metroid, not only because of sales, but Japan just doesn't care that much about, nowhere near as much as we do over here in the West. And so that kind of could be a good option if it's ready to go. But thinking about it on Switch 2 would also be ideal as well.
Yeah. I wonder if they do like 2 versions. Like you do 4, then you do like they did with Twilight Princess or something essentially like that on both platforms. Maybe one's just delayed. Maybe the Switch 2 one comes out later or something.
Right. Let's read this from Sean Mason, who says, "Hey, Punching Up crew, with the setback of Switch 2 being postponed to 2025 is disappointing, prompted me to consider a potential marketing strategy that Nintendo could employ. Given that 2025 marks the 40th anniversary of Super Mario Bros., what if they leverage this milestone to execute one of the most remarkable first years for a console? Imagine this scenario. The release of Mario 3D Collection Complete Edition as a launch title featuring 64, Sunshine, Galaxy, Galaxy 2, 3D Land, 3D World, and Odyssey, followed by the launch of Mario Kart 9 in May 2025, a remake of Super Mario Bros. 2 in the Mario Wonder engine, releasing in October 2025, followed by an announcement of a new 3D Mario game with a Q1 2026 release date. That would send Nintendo fans in a frenzy. But in reality, which of these scenarios do you believe is more likely to materialize best? Sean M. Sean, I love you. You got great wishful thinking.
Yeah.
But I think this is maybe a bit too much.
Yeah, Nintendo is generous, but I don't know. I don't think they can pull that off, though.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you guys, we'll go around here. What do you think about the marketing plans for this new console, launch titles, kind of however you want to take it? Micah, Sean brings up Mario Kart 9. I think that could be a big one. What do you think?
I because yes, Sean, his wishful thinking, one of his absolute best qualities. This, though, to me is a bit too far. I think Nintendo doesn't want us to be this happy. Okay, this is too much to put 64 Sunshine, the Galaxy games all together. Would it be an amazing idea? Absolutely. Will they do it? No. But yeah, Mario Kart 9.
Man, I've never heard anything said so perfectly. Nintendo doesn't need us that happy, which is so true. Because if Nintendo fans are super happy, then they're doing something wrong on their end, you know?
No, where's
Holy
the
shit.
shortage? Where's the scarcity?
That's a perfect way to describe Nintendo's business strategy.
So yeah, I would say though, Mario Kart 9, it needs to be out next year, would be perfect to be a launch title. I myself have been just perpetually annoyed by it's like, it's wave 57. We have 10 more characters, 1,000 more tracks. And I'm like, good Lord, make a new game at this point. Like, how is it still Mario Kart 8? Like, what is happening here? So that's a must for me because I'm just annoyed by it. Mario Kart 8 just still being around. I can't take it anymore. But capitalizing on the anniversary, fantastic idea. What was the thing recently, though, that it was like there was some franchise that like had a birthday and all they said was like, it's their birthday. And it's like, they didn't do anything with it. And you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I can't remember.
Was it the Mother?
It was like Metroid. They didn't do much for either.
Yeah, because it was just like, and people are really excited about it. And it's like, I don't even know if they gave you like a wallpaper available like in the Platinum Point store or anything. Like, it's just one of those, you'd expect them to do something huge.
Konami did that for Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. They're like, hey, it's the happy anniversary to Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. We have nothing else to say.
Mm-hmm.
We have nothing to offer. We have made nothing on this.
Yeah.
It's been that long.
That's half of what I'll expect from Nintendo. It would be stupid to not do anything for the 40th. Stupid, but I just have a little faith.
They'll do something for the 40th.
Mm-hmm.
They'll do something, but it might be like their new Mario calendar available for 1,000 platinum points. It'll be something like that. Yeah, but no, I don't know how much faith to put in what I expect from the launch lineup, but I do agree with Sean that they have to capitalize on the year of Mario somehow, especially with still the perpetual popularity from the Mario movie and all that. I still see people constantly talking about Jack Black and in regards to his portrayal in the movie. So like this thing isn't going away and it's still very popular with the youth, the children. So I think they have to capitalize on that early next year if that's when the console is coming out. And we'll see what they do. Who knows? Maybe I can spend my platinum points and get some sort of Luigi wallpaper. I'm sure they'll give us something grand like that.
Brad, I know you're a big Donkey Kong fan. And something we've speculated on this show is that we have the Mario movie, which has, of course, Donkey Kong in it prominently. We have the Donkey Kong section of the Nintendo Park. What if this launch title is a Mario game? Yes, but also a Donkey Kong game. And that would be kind of an interesting way to celebrate this anniversary where maybe not, I know the anniversary is for Super Mario Brothers, but Mario was born right alongside Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, man?
Yeah, I would love that. Donkey Kong and Mario teaming up that sounds really jolly to me. I really want it to be a 3D game though. I think Donkey Kong's got to make
Donkey Kong game would be crazy.
He needs a good 3D game, like a really good 3D game. And if it's like the Odyssey team that's doing it, that's going to be incredible.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Yeah. It's I feel like the writing is on the wall for that, but we'll have to see. Gene, any thoughts about how hard does Nintendo need to go with this launch? Because the one thing I've been thinking is that you have the Switch, which has insane install base across the board. One of the best selling consoles of all time now at this point. And so I, in one sense, think that they're looking at this and like, man, we're going to be competing with ourselves at this launch because we have to convince people that moving over is worthwhile. So some of this like delaying until we have the software makes a lot of sense to me. So how hard do you think they're going to go?
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. I think they're like, well, if you gotta wait, then we might as well try to beat the PS2, while we're at it, and squeeze out as many sales as we can. They still haven't dropped the price on the Switch. They still haven't pulled that trigger. And once they do, it's gonna start selling more. I don't. You never know with Nintendo. They're always, and it's been so long since we've had a console launch, so. I feel like any kind of wisdom that you might have right now it would be completely different, because a lot of people didn't expect the Switch to be successful back then too, and for good reason. I think it's not unreasonable to think that the Switch had an uphill battle to climb. It just happened to climb it over really, really easily because, again, it had Breath of the Wild, man. Everyone needed to play Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild was that good.
Yeah, it's an interesting
games that sell it. That's why Phil sounds crazy when he says that console games they can't exclusive, because he's like, you don't know that reality. That's why you can't say that because you have no. I sound like Colin now, going after Phil, but it's like you can't say that because you have no experience with selling you Halo. I guess it's too bad,
right? Yeah, it's been a long time for them.
Yeah, it's been over 2 decades since you were able to figure that out. Like I guess Halo 3 and Xbox 360. Yeah, that's what I bought the Xbox 360 for. But you've been screwing up Halo for longer than Halo was good. So
I have not thought about it that way, but that is definitely true.
Yeah, it sucks. Halo has been worse than Halo has more bad than it's been good now at this point in time.
Yeah. Ooh. So we will continue, of course, as always, for what will be a few months until we know more about what actually is going on with Switch 2, but we'll continue to cover and speculate here on the show, but do have a few quickies to get into. I'll just read these both at once and then actually have a question that I put at the end, but I'm going to read now. The two quickies are Pokemon Presents coming February 27th, so about a week from the time that we're recording, so we'll be able to talk about that on the next episode. And in addition, this was exciting for me. There are new episodes of Pokemon Concierge in production. That's the Netflix show that is stop motion animated. It's so cute and fun. I highly recommend it. It's so short though. I think it's 3 or 4 episodes that might be 10 minutes each. But
nice. Okay.
Yeah, I was excited to see more of those, and I highly recommend it if you have Netflix.
Okay.
But Brad, you're here as our special guest this week, and I know you have strong feelings about Pokemon. So I want to read this question from Jose. Okay. Says, greeting punching pioneers. With a Pokemon Direct occurring next week, I couldn't help but be concerned as an eternally jaded Pokemon fan. I have played every generation of Pokemon, so I could be considered part of the problem since I keep buying them in both versions of each entry. And I should have exited the franchise long after I turned 18, but alas, I have remained. Since Pokemon is jointly owned by Nintendo, Game Freak, and the Pokemon Company, do we have any hope that their upcoming games will return to a high quality like they used to be? Keep up the good work. Brad, I think it was on Easy Allies, I've heard a few rants from you about Pokemon. So Pokemon Presents next week, and who knows, new game, something, I'm sure. How do you feel about the state of Pokemon?
So I'll just give everyone the context of the history of Pokemon for me. Red and Blue, loved it. Played Yellow, good, just didn't finish it. Took a break, didn't play Gold, Silver, which I heard are awesome. Came back for Diamond and Pearl. Played Pearl. Kind of got bored with it. Very easy. I get it's Pokemon, but I just kind of got bored. Took huge break. Came back for Sword and Shield. Shield kind of sucked, so I bounced off it. Played Violet. I liked the ideas of Violet. I liked where they're going with it. But obviously the game ran like shit, and it was kind of embarrassing how bad that was in a lot of ways. So I think Pokemon has so much potential, and it frustrates me because of the potential and how much money they make. I just really want them to take their time with the game and not put one out like every year or every 2 years. Like really like take 3 or 4 years to make a Pokemon game. So when it comes out, it runs great. Like we need that. I know this gets thrown around, that Breath of the Wild moment for Pokemon, where it's just like you're actually in this world, you're exploring it, and it feels great. It runs good. That's what I need, Dustin. I'm always hoping for that. So hopefully we'll get on the next hardware or something, an amazing Pokemon game. But out of this Pokemon Direct that's coming out, I really just want the old games on the Switch service, like the Game Boy games, like Red, Blue, Yellow. I really want Gold and Silver because I'd actually play through those because I've never played through them and I heard they're great. So I would love to do that. But yeah, Pokemon frustrates me because it's so cool, but also so underwhelming at the same time by their own fault. There's just so much potential and they never capitalize on it.
Yeah. Well, that's the funny thing is the thing I remember with Pokemon is just that it reminds me in a way of Call of Duty in that it's this machine that operates and we think about the games, and for us that's the core aspect, but Pokemon as an IP, I mean, you think about the cards, the anime, the merchandise, all of these different things that it's like all these things need to be in synergy together. And I think that that's the main problem with Game Freak is that they're part of this machine that must keep going. And so you almost hope that, and I guess I've felt this way for a long time, is that when a generational change happens, it's like, okay, this is the time that they can really change things up. And then it just doesn't. Or if it does change and then other problems happen. I think that's specifically with the Switch right now. Gene, I wanted to ask you about this because there's been so many conversations about Power World. And one of the common things I see is people saying like, see Pokemon Company, this is what we want. We want open world Pokemon game. We want new things. And I see this thought of something like Power World will cause Pokemon to change and react. And what do you think about this? It sounds a little silly to me.
Well, whatever we see next week is definitely not going to be a reaction to Power World because whatever they have there is going to be cooked up way before Power World. But I do agree with the sentiment that Power World does offer something. I haven't really talked about Power World on LSM at all, huh?
No, you talked about it on Summit Sign, I think.
Oh, Summit Sign, yeah, that's right. Yeah. But yeah, I guess probably to reiterate, like I think Power World offers an interaction with your pals that you don't really get with your Pokemon, you know? So I was playing Power World and I was really hooked on Power World for a while. I'm not playing anymore. Who cares, right? But while I was playing Power World, I booted up Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which despite running like absolute garbage, objectively garbage, and I don't blame anyone for not playing them because they actually do hurt my head playing them. Like I'm totally fine with bad frame rates, but for some reason Scarlet and Violet is bad enough that it actually is physically painful to play. I get that, but I did boot out Scarlet and Violet, and one thing that was fascinating to me when I started playing Scarlet and Violet is, dude, I am fighting all the time in Pokemon. And that is all I do with my Pokemon is I am grabbing them and I'm throwing them to other Pokemon and I go fight. And I heal them and then 5 minutes later, or not even 5 minutes later, it's like seconds later, I'm fighting. Whereas in Power World, I go back to Power World and they're not fighting at all. All they're doing is making stuff and cooking and sleeping and hanging out in the sauna and making assault rifles. But they're not fighting. There's actually no violence at all happening with the gameplay of Power World. What I'm doing is I'm letting them like be pals and do what they need to do. And I can go up to them and give them high fives, or I can cuddle them, or I can feed them, or I can cut them up and eat them myself. But there's like a real tactile like interaction with these monsters that you just don't get with Pokemon. And I think that's I think what a lot of people are wondering. So like we played Breath of the Wild, and I think every Pokemon fan who played Breath of the Wild was like, God, imagine a Pokemon game that looked like this. So Power World was like, fuck it, why don't we just try to make that? And then they kind of did, and then look at the results. So I would hope that Pokemon would see that, and hopefully someday, like Brad said, 5 years, take some goddamn time, really cook this thing, and give us a Pokemon game that we've always wanted. I think we just need one. That's it.
Yeah, it makes me wonder about Pokemon in an era now where you have, like you've been saying, Power World, Gene, but also I guess the idea of Pokemon becoming more like Animal Crossing, and I guess that would betray certain Pokemon fans.
Yeah, because Pokemon is always about the competition, and you always got to be the best, which is a little weird and very like capitalistic, and when you think about it, right? You got to beat everyone else. No one, not even your best friend, will stop you. Your friends can't stop you from being the best. Whereas in Power World, is like, yeah, you're just chilling and you're building this community. So they definitely need to marry. So you're absolutely right. They definitely need to marry some kind of Animal Crossing like lifestyle vibe to Pokemon. And then they're trying to do that with like Pokemon Home, and they look at how cute Pokemon Concierge is. And then you get the main Pokemon games, and it's like it really is like Call of Duty. It's just violence the whole time. It's really funny.
Micah, what would get you into a Pokemon game in the year of our Lord 2024, or maybe 25, depending on when the next one comes out?
Honestly, I don't know, because part of it is that, and I think we all have games that we love despite the fact that they maybe seem stale. The Call of Duty model of making slight changes, but we want the core gameplay to be the same, essentially. So it's like other people may say, oh, I don't want to play that. It's the same thing every year. But, the people who are into it are into it. For me, that's the problem with Pokemon, is that I wasn't crazy about the games in the first place when I tried them like on 3DS. And then seeing that it's more of the same, I was always of the mind that, I didn't really like it, so I don't think I want more of it. And then the bigger problem being, not only is it a very similar game each time, but then the quality took a dip. And that was a huge problem of like, it's one thing if your gameplay model is a little stale. It's different if the game's actually actively bad. That's a completely different thing as if the game doesn't play well, if it has performance issues. So I think what I'd need to see would definitely be for the core audience to be happy again, for people to be really stoked on the next game and tell me that, it's high quality, that it's fun. I have to admit that the new Pokemon are just weird. Like I'm familiar with Pokemon from when I was a child, but when you have the one that's like a pile of whipped cream or whatever, like I just am like, this isn't a Pokemon. It's weird. And that's kind of how I feel at this point, is I think they've run out of ideas. And I don't know what would get me into it besides just seeing people be really excited about it and then me saying, okay, maybe I got a little bit of FOMO, maybe I'll try it out. But they're just so strange, these new Pokemon, where it's like, it's a microphone. I don't even know if that's a real one. I'm just making that up. But like, there probably is. There probably is one that's like a Blue Yeti microphone that's come to life, essentially. So I don't know. If I saw somebody like Gene tell me, oh, this new one's awesome, you got to try it, then I probably would. But if I continue to see the same response from like the core audience who like adores Pokemon games, I'm going to keep leaving it alone.
Yeah, even as much as I like Scarlet and Violet, I'm still not going to be like, yeah, this is the one. Like, no, it's not. It still isn't. It's a beautiful world, and it's fun. It's actually fun to explore. So there's that. So
we'll have to see. As I mentioned earlier, Pokemon Presents February 27th, and we'll be talking about hopefully anything new and interesting on the next episode. Guys, let's get into what we've been playing. Micah, let's go to you first. What's going on for you?
Yeah, so I am still working on Persona 3 Portable, but I think I'm finally at the end now. I'm not going to spoil anything. What day are you on?
Because I'm curious if we're close to around the same time.
I am in late November, I believe. I was just playing last night, and dates are like my worst thing to remember. So
I am also in
late
November, but on the remake.
Aha. So here's the thing, and like I'm not gonna say any spoilers, but the classic JRPG formula of you just don't know, am I really at the end?
Oh.
And I'm worried it's just that feeling of like, oh, okay, I think we're at the end. Psych. So I'm waiting to be tricked, essentially. I'm just waiting to find out that like, oh, there's 50 more hours, and I'm probably gonna dip at that point. I've been struggling a bit to play games lately. This is just why I'm still playing Persona 3. I've been a bit depressed. I'm fine. I don't want anyone to think that there's something wrong. It's just that. But so this general loss of interest in my hobbies, it hasn't been gelling well with playing such a long game. And Brad, I got to tell you, when I was on Summon Sign, and you had mentioned how like laborious Tartarus gets, and at first I was like, oh, I hope not. I'm really enjoying it. I got to that point where I just started to fucking hate it.
Oh yeah.
And so I just found myself just not wanting to play this game, but also refusing to bump down the difficulty, because I said I could just play it on easy and just get it over with, but I refuse. But so right now I think I'm finally approaching the end of the game. If this turns out to be some sort of fake out, though, I think I'm just gonna dip, because it's gonna get to the point where I feel like I've seen enough and I don't think I need to play anymore. You know, because I just get to a point with some games where it's just no longer enjoyable. You know, as of right now, I'm still invested in the story. I really want to know what happens next, but the gameplay has gotten very tiring at this point. And all I want to do is hang out with my friends and go to the mall. And I don't want to go to Tartarus anymore. I don't want to do that. I just want to go do karaoke. Well, I have a girlfriend, all right. Like everything's going great, but I don't want to do that other half anymore.
Who'd you pick as the girlfriend?
I picked Yuko, the swim team manager. Yeah, as soon as I met her, I was like, she's just so fun. So, but that happened like a long time ago. And so I maxed out that social link. Now I don't have to hang out with her anymore. Frees up a whole bunch of time, right? That's the secret.
That's how real relationships. You gotta max out
the social links real fast.
Real relationships, you lock her in and then you can just ignore her after that. It's perfect.
It literally, the best thing about Persona is when it's like, you cannot become closer to this person. You want to hang out anyways. It's like, nope, now I'm done. All right. I don't have to see you ever again. But yeah,
that's
so
the ideal relationship. That's true.
I am hopefully almost done with this game. I'm still playing the Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe on the side as well. Just doing a level here and there.
Nice.
It's adorable, super cute and fun. I just do a level every now and then. I'm not trying to just get that game over with. It's a delight and a really great break in the pattern from playing Persona 3 for hours at a time. So hopefully the next time you see me, I will not be playing Persona 3 anymore, either because I threw it away or because I actually beat it. But we're going to be done with it soon.
Well, I'll piggyback off of your Persona talk here, which I am playing the remake, Persona 3 Reload. Talked about it last week and on different shows, so I won't talk about it too much. But
could you tell me real quick the difference between Reload and the portable, though?
Portable,
other than it's a whole remake. It's a whole remake, then, right?
It is a whole remake.
Yeah.
And the portable version is more visual novel focused because it was designed for the PSP.
Sure.
So when you go to different areas, it's just kind of static backgrounds and stuff like that. And
Reload is like a full-on new Persona game.
Yeah. And it incorporates a lot of the Persona 5 mechanics into.
That's very attractive. That's awesome.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Play Reload.
Yeah, Reload is awesome. I'm having a great time. It does suffer from some of the standard Persona things where there's certain people that I just don't want to hang out with ever. Like there's this guy on the track team and his whole story, I'm not going to say the spoilers, but like his whole thing is about his knee hurts. He's got a knee injury. And so over the course of 10 times hanging out with him, all he does is bitch about his fucking knee. I'm like, bro, I don't care about your knee. And then it's like, oh, hang out with the guy from the art club who has a mean dad. I just don't. Some of the social links are just filler, purely. But what's interesting, though, is one of the ones that people hate is actually one that I kind of liked. there's this real chubby kid that refers to himself as the Gourmet King.
Oh yeah.
And his is really silly because he has like this cult aspect to him. I'm like, dude, Gourmet King is my boy. I think this guy's awesome. I'd way rather hang out with him than, dude complaining about his knee constantly. So, but yeah. I'm getting kind of nervous as I get towards the end of the game because I've been using a guide that will help me prioritize which people to hang out with, but I'm not doing the on this day do this and on this day do that. So there is still a lot of strategy where I'm thinking about it, but as I get towards the end of the game, I'm starting to sweat a little bit just because I really want to do all the social links, but I don't know if I'm going to have enough time.
You're turning into Colin, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I'm halfway there, but I don't think I could ever do the day by day guide because what's the point of playing it at that point?
Yeah, for true.
So we'll see what happens. Hopefully by the next episode, I will also be done with this game, especially because Rebirth is coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one, perfect way to segue to Brad and Gene is Helldivers 2. Been playing a lot of that. And man, we've played this game. Brad, you and I have played this almost every day, every other day. When we can, we can get into the servers. And man, we're having a great time.
We've played over 20 hours already.
Yeah.
It says like 26 hours for me.
Yeah. But we're having a fantastic time. Just nice to hop into a game with the boys that has absolute chaos all the time.
It was either hopping with you guys too a couple nights ago.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was so fun.
Dude, we got to do it again.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man.
Soon. But I'll throw this over to you, Brad. I mentioned Helldivers 2, so if you want to mention anything there or whatever you want.
Just quickly, Helldivers 2, great chaotic fun, like we were saying when we were all playing together. Definitely the Left 4 Dead vibes going on there. Lost Planet 2, like throwing a little EDF, just a good time with the boys, your friends, whoever you're playing with. You're gonna have a great time if you got some pals to play with. Even Colin's playing online right now, so it's surprising.
Yeah, that's how you know this is different. If Colin is playing an online game and with randoms.
It's so weird, like having the server issues periodically and watching him be like, I just want to play the game. And I laughed because I was like, this is just weird because in our relationship, you have never played an online game. Like my previous relationships, we played online games a lot together because I'm a big multiplayer person. And I said, this is just the weirdest timeline that you're playing an online game and you're frustrated about the servers or like the host disconnected. And I'm like, this just all feels wrong.
That's weird.
None of this is correct for Colin. It's like he's been replaced and overnight with some different clone version of himself.
Different man.
Yeah, this is the changeling. I'm Angelina Jolie. So my husband's been replaced with some sort of changeling man. I don't know where the real Colin went.
I've also been playing Persona 3 Reload on the side. I'm much further back than you guys. I'm like 20 hours in. I think I'm in the end of July or something. Just did like the summer break stuff. I'm a little past that. Really good, really fun. Tartarus sucks still, but not nearly as bad as it did in the original. So that's good. And dude, the running track guy, I just leave that guy in red all the time. I never respond to that guy. I'm like, yeah, you're a fucking bummer to be around, dude. I'm gonna hang out with this old couple at the bookstore, all right?
Yeah.
Oh, I love
that was the first one I maxed out was the old couple. I was like, yeah, these guys rule, dude.
Yeah, the old couple is cool. And then there's like the guy that's in student council that has like a god complex, like going around trying to enforce.
I watched him get punched and it was hilarious.
Yeah, good shit. Good shit.
And I also yesterday, dude, I was just bored on stream and fired up Super Mario 64 just to play one of the greatest games ever made. And boy, does that game still hold up. Still feels really good, really great level design, fantastic music. Play it. It's so good. If you have not played Mario 64, you guys sort your life out and play that shit right now.
Dude, play it and realize how perfectly Nintendo nailed 3D movement from day
their
one.
First thing. Yeah.
The first day, dude.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's insane.
Like especially when you play the Tomb Raider remaster collection right next to Mario, and it's like holy shit, dude! Like Lara, the way they thought Lara Croft should move, and the way Mario moves is like night and day, you know.
Yeah, and just briefly, me and Dustin have been playing on and off Elden Ring seamless co-op, and that's been a lot of fun going through that game with Dustin. Just like breaking the game, just us two together the entire time has been tons of fun. And they throw in those like weird mechanic stuff in that mod where it's like if you die, you like get some rot or whatever, you lose some stats.
The Sekiro mechanic. Yeah,
like
it's
the
weird.
dragon rot to keep you from like cheesing too much. But yeah, it's just been really fun playing it in that way. And yeah, that's it for now.
Yeah. So Gene, what about you?
When does this episode come out today? Wednesday?
It'll come out today on Patreon, yes.
Okay, so there's a game I still can't talk about.
Nope.
that is very, very obvious, and you're going to find out very, very soon what game it is. But sadly, I can't talk about it. You'll find out very soon what I think about it. And then Helldivers 2. And I did try playing the original Final Fantasy VII, actually, because I really wanted to kind of just revisit and brush up on the original story. And so I've been playing on the Nintendo Switch version. I actually bought the European cart. You can have it in a physical. So I've been playing on that one. And it's been fun. To me, that game still kind of holds up. It's just hard to remember like where to go and what to do, especially if you don't know what to do. Like imagine like trying to figure out like what to do in a Wall Market by yourself. You know, they don't really tell you what to do or anything. You just have to walk around and talk to every single person and figured it out. But it's it's a very classic RPG in that regard. So I've been having fun with that. I actually also got a code for RZ by Limited Run Games. If you don't know, RZ is a game actually made by the Digital Foundry guys. John Linneman actually did the level design, but it is a deliberate tribute and homage to the old Zelda CDI games, Zelda Wand of Gamelon and whatever. Actually, no, I think Wand of Gamelon is actually the top-down view. But you know, when I mentioned a Zelda CDI game, if you know what I'm talking about, you already have an image in your head. And so I've been trying that on the Switch actually too. Definitely trying that, especially since Helldivers 2 can't seem to get his shit together. You know, I've been trying to play Helldivers 2, and it just won't. You guys have been playing for the last week. I've been in Vegas, so I definitely wanted to give it a shot again.
And loser in Vegas, talking and hanging out with people, having fun. The boys are at home alone. But together.
Yeah. I got to hang out with Doug Bowser, my boy Doug Bowser, president of Nintendo of America. So he was actually the only executive out of the three big platforms. Phil Spencer usually goes to DICE, but he was not there this time because I think he had to.
He's too busy putting out fires.
Yeah, he had a podcast to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Cool.
He had a business to update.
Yeah,
that's right. So guys, let's move in. I've got a few final questions to wrap up our show. I guess one of them is just a comment that I really liked from Mercuriaz13. Says, "Hey, puncher uppers. Hope all is well. I wanted to give a shout out to Nintendo's composers over the years. I'm a public accountant currently in audit busy season. And as a way for my team and I to de-stress at the end of the day, I've been playing relaxing Nintendo music compilations from YouTube in the audit room. It's definitely helped with the team morale, and my manager, a non-gamer, especially loves the Animal Crossing compilations. Thanks for hearing a tired auditor out, and keep up the great work." So shout out to the auditors out there, and shout out to Nintendo Music, who, does a really great job hitting out of the park. And man, I feel like since always Nintendo Music has been amazing, even since the NES. But I think the moment that I became aware that's like, whoa, this is on another whole new level is Mario Galaxy. I think about that soundtrack all the time.
And, the first orchestral Mario soundtrack. Yeah. They blew the doors out with that one.
That's a soundtrack that went way harder than it needed to.
Gusty Garden Galaxy is like my favorite song, like in video game music, like ever. I think, like up there with like the Final Fantasy VII like overworld theme,
Mm-hmm. Dude, it's funny they talk about doing all this work listening to Nintendo music. When I was at Easy Lives, I wrote several reviews listening to Animal Crossing music because it was so like just subtle and relaxing that I could focus on what I was writing at the same time. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Animal Crossing music is so like traumatizing for me though, because that was like early pandemic music. That's the soundtrack to like the apocalypse, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So every time I hear it, do 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 do, I'm just like, oh, fuck, you know,
sweating.
Yeah.
All right, so here's a fun question from David, who says, "Hi team, with Princess Peach's second solo game around the corner, what Mario World character do you feel is most deserving of their own game? And what type of game would you want it to be?" So, yeah, I know this is a bit of an open-ended question.
I feel like a lot of them have games already.
Yeah, because I was even thinking like Toad has Treasure Tracker.
Treasure Tracker.
Yoshi's got games.
Yoshi's got a bunch of them.
Wario has his
like
own games.
Several games, I guess. Not his own game, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, maybe a Bowser character action game, you know?
Dude, yeah, Muso as Bowser. You're just cutting down toads. Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
I want Boshi.
Boshi
from Mario RPG, yeah.
Yeah.
Drug dealer looking ass Yoshi.
Yeah. That'd be a cool game, dude.
Micah, do you have any characters?
No, see, what I want is honestly just sequels to what we already have. Like, as mentioned, yeah, the Yoshi games. I adore Yoshi's Woolly World, Crafted World. I'm waiting for them to do another one. I'm assuming that'll be on the next Switch. And I really would like a follow-up to Captain Toad Treasure Tracker because it was cute and fun. It was hokey because it was on Wii U, and there were elements of like the actual gameplay that I was like, I don't really love it, but I like the concept. I did like that, the way you kind of like rotate the world to like see different aspects of where you're traversing. So I would like to see them return to that for sure. I say I'd want a Waluigi game, and honestly, I think I'd just be like team up with Wario for like a really zany WarioWare. I know, give us another one of those, I guess. But because Waluigi, talking about like Nintendo not giving us things out of spite, I completely think that they're not putting him in Smash Brothers out of spite. They were like, you know what, we were gonna do it, but you asked for it too many times. Now we just won't. So give me something where Waluigi's the star, I suppose. Maybe it's like Waluigi's hosting the Olympics. All right. And so it's just another Mario ensemble sports game, but Waluigi's the star of it. I just want him to be like front and center. I don't know if he gets his own game because I don't know what he'd be doing, but something like that. Just give him, a real spotlight in whatever they make next for like the ensemble cast, whether it's sports or whatever.
Just put him in Smash, for God's sakes.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but they're not gonna do it, Brad.
I know, it's just like ridiculous. I wonder, like 10 Fire Emblem characters in there. Just throw Waluigi in there, man.
There's so many Fire Emblem characters. It's so crazy.
It's like absolutely nuts. And especially because you could really picture his moveset. Like he's gangly and like has long limbs. Like it really would be so funny to see him with some of these other characters. It's like totally just a missed opportunity. Like Waluigi in Smash isn't just a joke. Like he'd be fantastic. All right. I'm a Kirby main. All right. Like this would be a joy, but they don't want to do it. They're too afraid of his power. So.
Cowards.
Yeah, I could imagine like so Wario games now are mainly just WarioWare, but like the Waluigi isn't even in WarioWare. He doesn't exist in that universe.
Exactly.
And so
shoehorn him in.
Yeah. Imagine a game that's like the Mario and Luigi games, that's an RPG, but it's Wario and Waluigi, and they're out doing disgusting, despicable things, just going around.
Farting on people.
Yeah, farting on people, eating garlic, just being a couple nasty boys. And I don't know, I think you could do some awesome moves with that too in an RPG. I think that could be a recipe for success. Last question here, and I'll be honest, I picked it because I really liked this intro From Zeke the Plumber, who says, Brickfist and Dustin, Marvelous Mrs. Moriarty, Big Brad Voodoo Daddy, and Gene Park from the Washington Post. I really liked Big Brad Voodoo Daddy. That was...
Yeah, he writes in on Summon Side and he does these. He always says Gene from the Washington Post.
Gene Park from the Washington Post. That's right. All right, I have a confession. Something to get off my chest. I've never played a Smash Bros. Game. Is this an unforgivable sin? I've always owned Nintendo consoles, so I'm not totally sure how I managed to miss every single Smash Brothers release.
That's
but
crazy.
I guess I've always been more of a Mario Kart person. On a scale from 1 to 10, how irredeemable am I?
10. You're trash.
I don't want to say it because I feel like this is like a fetish thing now. You know?
A fetish thing.
Yeah, like he might be getting off on us rating him. You know.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. But
it's an interesting way to put it.
I'll give it a 7, I guess. So, anyways, I hope that works for you, Zeke.
Yeah. Look, the thing that I was thinking is he irredeemable because he could just go out and buy Ultimate?
Yeah, just buy Ultimate, dude.
Dude, just buy Ultimate. Just check it out, man.
You're good.
Yeah. Dude, I'm so excited. My Sora amiibo is coming in the mail today. I bought 2 of them, so I'm excited to have my boys here.
I don't think I got one. I
was gonna buy him, but his face looks kind of scuffed. And I
was
I don't want that shit. Like like a bootleg Sora looking face. Yeah,
crack Sora. You know, he's seen some shit.
No, it's not even on Amazon. They're like, no.
Yeah, it's over, dude.
We don't have this shit at all.
Nintendo fans, yeah.
Yeah, some moron is buying 2, one to open and one to keep in the box. So
what a freak.
People like that's the problem. But that's it. That's all I've got for punching up this week. We're a little shorter this week, but that's okay. But yeah, missing Dagan. Hopefully he's having a nice time on his vacation. But let's go ahead and go around one last time. Say goodbye to everybody and any closing thoughts. Micah, goodbye. We'll see you next time.
Indeed. And exciting times here in the Moriarty household. Dustin, as you know, I am going to be going car shopping soon.
Hell yeah.
So the next time you can't see me, I might have an update on that, might have a new car, or might have, put a deposit on one if they don't have the color I want. But I'm excited. This is going to be a big change. I had the same car for 6 years. So I'm only getting rid of it because I just don't feel safe in it around here. Everybody has these like huge SUVs. I drive a Honda Fit. I adore that car. All right. I named it Minato, the yellow flash of the leaf, but I just can't, I don't feel safe anymore driving around here. Amazing. So I don't want a huge car, but I want something slightly bigger. I'm looking at like an Impreza. So yeah, I'm excited for that and I'll update you guys soon.
Nice. Getting a new car is really fun and exciting. My current car is a Subaru, and before that I owned all shitty cars my whole life. My first car was my dad's old Subaru, which was awesome. It was a 98 Subaru Impreza.
Cool.
It was I think it's still my favorite car I've ever owned to this day. And it's just nostalgic, but getting a new car is fun. So I wish you the best of luck searching, because getting a new car is fun once you have it, but trying to find the car is pain and sucks.
Oh yeah, and also like the dealership, I just submitted the email form just to check if the car was still on their lot. They promptly called me twice, left 2 voicemails, started emailing me, sent me a text. It was like, whoa, Nelly, I just said, do you still have the car on the lot? All right. Like, so that is they're aggressive. There was another one that I reached out to, same deal, just, filled out the online form to say like, is this car still on your lot? And they were like, if you buy this car in the next 5 days, we'll give you $250 off, which is 1%. And I was like, you want me to make a snap decision to save 1%? It's just comical how aggressive they are. It's like, you're asking me to make a very big purchase within a very short time frame to save not a lot in comparison of the overall picture. So yeah, the aggressiveness of the dealerships is not the fun part of getting a new car. Yeah, it's annoying. The one thing I'll say is when they offer you a like protection thing, like not your car insurance, but you can get like a plan, the extended warranty. Yeah, the extended warranty. Always say no the first time. Yeah, No, definitely don't need it. Like my current car, in 6 years, the only issue I had, the AC needed to be recharged. That's it.
Yeah.
Now maybe I'm super lucky, but I definitely don't think I need the extended 5-year warranty. I think the standard 3 will be fine.
I got the 5 just because it was used, and because I said no initially. They I don't know if they knocked it down by half. They offered to me again way less, and I was like, well, okay.
All right.
So always say no at first, but cool. Well, good luck to you, Micah. Gene, thank you for joining us once again. Good to see you again, and hopefully recovering well and 100% by next episode.
Yeah, hopefully. But good to be here. Good to be back. Looking forward to talking about a lot about different games in the next month or so.
Yeah, a lot of different games to be very exciting to talk about. Brad, thank you for joining us. Thank you for filling in for Dagan, of course, for our Punching Up exclusive audience. Make sure you go check out Summon Sign, also on Last Stand. That's the show that Brad hosts, all about talking about playing games. But Brad, thank you for joining us once again.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm really happy to be here. I still can't get over, and I love that Micah named her car off Naruto's dad. That's so awesome. So shout out to Micah on that one. And Nintendo, please deliver in the future. Don't do another Wii U.
Yeah,
Don't
sort
fuck
it out.
us over. Yeah, sort that shit out, all right?
Sort it out, Nintendo. I have a name for my car that I've never mentioned on the show, and I never refer to my car as this name, but when I bought it, I did name him. Very obvious.
Him.
For a blue car, and his name is Sora.
Oh, boy.
You know, it's because
even
Sora
I haven't done something like that.
Sora is sky, so it's a nice blue car. But it's not like I'm like, hey Holly, let's grab Sora and go to Chipotle. It's not like that. But
yeah, I don't call my car that in front of people, but you guys I felt safe with.
Yeah.
Sometimes I say it to bother Colin. But if I'm driving down the highway and I'm feeling, fast and agile, and then I'll be like, yellow flash of the leaf, let's go, But otherwise, do I tell people this generally? No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dustin, I'll name my car Riku then, so we can be buddies.
Excellent. I like that. That'll be nice. That's very nice. But that's it for Punching Up. Thanks everybody for joining us. We appreciate it. As always, you can check out patreon.com/laststandmedia to get early access, all that good stuff I mentioned earlier. But if you're on free feeds, we appreciate you as well. Make sure to subscribe. Leave us a comment about the most unhinged thing that was said on the show or whatever. We like to hear from you guys. It means a lot. And we'll be back in a future episode. But until then, we'll see you next time. Punching Up, a Nintendo podcast, is a product of Last Stand Media and Colin's Last Stand, LLC, and is proudly recorded in the USA. The show is written and produced by me, Dustin Furman. My co-hosts are Gene Park, Dagan Moriarty, and Micah Watson. The show is edited by associate producer Ben Smith. All of Last Stand's theme music is by Ramon Narvaez. Punching Up, along with the rest of Last Stand Media shows, are fan-funded on Patreon at patreon.com/laststandmedia. The following names are at the producer level on Patreon, our highest tier, and we're grateful for your kind contributions and generosity to our independent endeavor. Thank you.